it's what brought me to the feet of Jesus. And that's how good our God is. If you really put it in that circumstance, he knows what we need to get to him. My journey to get to him was different than y'all's journey to get to him. But I'm thankful for that journey, because without that journey, I wouldn't be with him today. Amen. So we're just a place for guys to come to know who Jesus Christ is, to take that brokenness and say, hey, you know what? That's not who you are. That's not the identity. That's what the enemy wants to deceive and to trick and to lie and to steal from you and to tell you that's all you're ever going to be. But that's not the truth. That's not what Christ has for you. Now, ministry is hard. Okay? When I first read the handbook, you get a 40-page handbook coming into this ministry that we say, hey, make sure you read it. And all you're looking through, okay, yeah, you're here for God. That's good. And then you hear all these rules, regulations, and things you got to follow. And you're like, whoa. No phone. Phone goes away. Television goes away. Communication with friends, family, even at first, all goes away. Coffee goes away. And you're like, that was the sticker for me. I went through the program when it was 24 months. 24 months of the first year, no coffee unless you went to church. Once in a while, you might get a cup. And it was probably like once a month back then, you might get a cup of coffee. Then after your first year, you get to phase one, you get 1 cup a week in the ministry. You're like, what are you kidding me? 1 cup a week? Really? And now I'm the guy that's telling them, yeah, you only get 1 cup a week. So it's like, and I remember being the guy like, are you kidding me? What are you talking about? Like, I've made it to this point. Something about teaching patience, right? And being thankful for what you do get, even though it might not be exactly what you want. Sometimes we want more. But that was a hard one for me. Like my mindset was, I can drink coffee in jail, right? I can get coffee in jail. And you're telling me I'm going to come here, there's no bars, but you're taking all this stuff away from me. But I knew I was so desperate, I was willing to do whatever because I needed a change in my life, and I was willing to surrender everything. And that's what it takes. For me, I have to surrender everything. I don't care if it's my coffee. I don't care what it is. My life's such a mess. I'll let it all go. Once you can start letting every single thing go, and it doesn't matter, and the only thing that matters is Jesus Christ, ooh, he will rock your world. So that's the heart of Loving Hands. And yes, we've been in ministry coming up on 42 years. 42 years. That's a beautiful thing. 3 campus locations. You got the Bradenton campus, where it started back in 1992. Or no, 84. Forgive me. Bradenton campus started back in 1984. Pastor Wendell, he was pastor of a church. He was going into jails, ministering to men, helping them get set free. And he'd spend 6 months with them or a year with them, and then they'd get released. They'd be on fire for God when they got released, but then they'd leave the Bible and they'd go back to their old places, their old friends, and all these old things. And next thing you know, they'd be back. And you'd be like, man, it's just this revolving door. I was caught in a revolving door. Just go to jail. Lord, forgive me. I won't do it again. I'll serve you, and get right back out there and go right back to my old ways because I had nothing new to replace it. Pastor Wendell felt that on his heart, and he took one man home for dinner. One night of dinner turned into staying overnight. Now, like I said, coming up on 42 years of ministry completely free. But that's because God's in it. And in 1992, we were given our campus in Dade City. Land, 4 acres out there, given to us. Maria Oster said, bless the ministry with it. That's when it was called Lighthouse Ministries. But we're one campus, one ministry, multiple campuses. The heart of the ministry is to have more campuses because we keep smaller numbers because we want to get personal with them. When somebody's going through something, we can see it, we can relate. Plus, you can't just hide in the background. You know, if you go into a big group, right, and you got one person teaching that group, many people might feel that they're left out, especially if you got a shy person. It'd be easier for them to hide in the background and just go through the motions. So that's kind of the heart of the ministry. We don't want guys going through the motions. We want them to get Jesus. And so sometimes it takes some one-on-one discipleship. We like to call it disciples making disciples. Were we perfect at it? By no means. You know, I have flaws. I still do, but my goal is I'm striving after Jesus, and my heart is after him, and I want people to see that in me. But we're getting trained up. You know, the disciples, you look at back in the Bible, all those disciples, they had errors in their walk, right? But they were getting trained up. Jesus was training up. Jesus spent time with them so they could be equipped for the future things to come. Right? And that's what we want to do. We want to spend time with them so these guys can be equipped for the future things to come. I can be equipped for the future things to come that God has for me because I want to do his will, not my own anymore. That's that desires, that change that Pastor Davey was talking about. It used to be selfish desires, and then we want to transform it into kingdom desires. God, what can I do for you? If we can stay in that mindset instead of getting at what can I do to get myself back. I mean, that's that old man that tries to creep back in there, and we want to rebuke that guy and be like, hey, Jesus, what do you want me to do? So that's the ministry in a roundabout way. It's like I said, there's a lot of discipleship. There's strict rules they got to follow. Their schedules from 6:15 in the morning when they wake up all the way to 9:30 at night. Every minute of the day is accounted for. These guys got to raise their hand and get permission to use the restroom. Anywhere they go, they got to ask. It's just not just do what you want, right? Because it's accountability. I did what I wanted my whole life, right? And I was a wreck. I made wrong decisions. So I needed somebody to coax me and guide me. I needed to humble myself also and say, hey, Pastor Davey, is it all right if I go back there and use your restroom? That's a hard thing when you first come into ministry. That's really hard to humble yourself and as a grown man and be like, can I use the restroom? Your flesh wants to fight that hard. But it's a humbling process that does some stuff inside of us that we're like, who am I? Right? I don't want to count myself as nothing. I just want to count Christ as something. Amen. So we're here to let these guys share some testimonies with you of what God's doing in their lives. God radically changed mine. I've been here this is about my third time coming here, and I'm so blessed to come here, but this is the sharpest I've seen you, brother. But no, all y'all, every single time, thank you so much because you're welcoming us in here. You don't know what that means to these guys. And let me share a little bit. I came in on a Saturday, okay, and the very next day I was in a church. I came in on a Saturday feeling like I was worth nothing, right? I just had a little glimmer of hope. Maybe God can do this for me. This ministry just welcomed me in. I was still uncomfortable. Like, I don't understand all this. And then we went in front of a church that Sunday morning. I got to stand up in front of the church and have all eyes. I didn't testify that day, but I was still up there and had all eyes on me. And this church saying, hey, you're worth it. We care about you. We're interested in what God is doing in your life. And immediately that started doing something in my heart because I had a hard heart. But the love of God through his people is what started transforming things for me. So I say thank you. Amen. Jethro.
Good morning, church. My name is Jethro Noel. I'm from about an hour outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So right now I got this book that I'm reading right now that Brian gave me. It's Joyce Meyer's book, Never Give Up, and that was something I struggled with a lot of my life. But in the first couple chapters, it talks about being an eagle Christian, not a chicken Christian, and how the eagles, how they soar and everything, you know, and I'm an Eagles fan, so I mean it kind of resonates with me, you know what I mean? I'm from Philadelphia, but my story started when I was 5 years old. I was through the foster system for 5 years, in and out of a lot of different foster homes. I didn't know who I was. I had a lot of identity issues in my life. So when I was 17, I was 14, I came home from school one day and my mom told me that she had cancer. I didn't know what that meant. At the time, I just knew cancer was a bad word. And so I see my mom go through chemotherapy for three years. Well, not quite 3 years. It came as breast cancer and they thought they took it out. 3 years later, it came back as stage 4 lung cancer. And she went through chemotherapy, and then it went to her brain. She went to Mexico for brain radiation. The doctor said there was nothing they could do to help her. It was out of control. She came home, and she had this peaceful look on her face, and she told the family her bags were packed. She was ready to go. It was like 2 weeks after she came home, she passed. The night before she passed, she told the family that The only way we were gonna make it as a family is if we stuck together, and that went in one ear and right out the other because in my mind I was already wrestling with a lot of different things. Um, Prior to my mom's passing, I'd gotten into pornography and everything after I accepted Jesus into my life. So I got excommunicated from church and school both, and so I was already going down a bad road. And so after mom passed away, I blamed myself for her passing. I felt like she lost heart to fight her cancer